Classroom. I'm Chef Carrie Leonard and we're here at Johnson & Wales University in the classical French kitchen. Today we're going to make what's called a mother sauce. Now that is one of the main sauces in classical French cuisine. Today we're making bechamel. Now bechamel starts with something that we already made a couple of episodes ago, so you go find it. It's called a roux. So I've made my roux here with the fat and the flour. I have milk, just whole milk, on a pot right here getting ready to simmer, and I have what's called an onion cloute. The onion cloute we're going to add to the milk, and it's going to bring in a lot of mild flavors that we want to have in the finished sauce. This is just an onion cut in half. I've studded it with whole cloves and 1 bay leaf, and all this is going to come out before we make our final sauce. I'm going to give this a little stir, and we're just going to let this simmer for about 5-10 minutes, get that good flavor going. All right, while that is simmering, we are finishing up on our roux. Now remember what roux was from a few episodes ago. It was equal parts of fat and flour over very low heat. And I have been stirring this, and now it's starting to turn into a bit of a blonde roux. That means it's not white anymore. It's turned this little bit of beige color. This is going to give us some good nutty flavor. All right, so our roux has been cooling and our milk has been simmering with the onion cloute. We're going to go ahead and take that out. Just pull that right out, and sometimes you have to hunt for the bay leaf. I'm going to pull him out. All right, now I have to introduce this hot liquid into this not hot liquid over here, and that process is called tempering. I don't want to put it all together at one time. So I'm going to bring over just a little bit of this milk into my roux, and I'm going to go ahead and stir that up. So I'm bringing in that little bit of milk and letting this incorporate completely. It won't even look like milk anymore in just a moment. See that? It just sucked it right up, made it nice and thick. Now, once I've gotten one little bit in, then I can put a little bit more in. And again, this process is called tempering, so I'm not going to overcook anything. It's really good to use this with eggs. There's a lot of different recipes where you're going to see the word tempering. All right, I think I've got a good temper going on here, so I'm ready to bring in the rest of my milk. Now I can do that all at one time. All right, let's get the rest of our milk in here. And this is going to make a really thick white sauce. All right, it can all go in now because I tempered properly a minute ago. I'm going to put this back on the heat, and as this comes to temperature, these two things are just going to completely gel together and make a really nice thick white sauce called bechamel. So now that this has come together and it's gotten a little bit tighter, which means it's gotten a little bit thicker, I'm looking for where it's going to coat the back of my spoon. You see that? That is where I want to be, but I have a lot of choices working with the bechamel. I can continue to tighten it up so that it becomes thicker and thicker and thicker. I want mine a little bit loose because I'm not stopping at this point. I'm saying, okay, bechamel, that's great, but you know what? I'm going to turn it into a mornay. Let me finish this bechamel with a little bit of seasoning, and we're ready to move on to mornay. A little bit of salt, a little bit of white pepper, because we want to keep it white, and nutmeg gives it these little just undertones of nuttiness. It's wonderful. All right. Now, moving on to mornay. This is Gruyere cheese. This is a cheese that's very pungent, very classically French Gruyere cheese. It's kind of like Swiss cheese with an attitude. So we're going to go ahead. We have it already shredded. And look at this. I'm just going to sprinkle it in. And start stirring. I'm going to let this incorporate a little bit and see where our consistency is. I'm always keeping an eye on what I'm doing. That's what cooking is, not just recipes, just watching what's going on. Here's some more. Can't have too much cheese. So when you're looking in your cookbooks, I want you to look for recipes that have a mornay sauce so that you can say, hey, I know how to do that. Yeah, this is coming together. This is getting nice and tight. Because the cheese is going to make it a little bit gooey as well. And we want that to melt down all the way too. All right, so we're letting this thicken up and soften, and it's going to be ready to put on top of a variety of dishes. This is my Mornay. So your homework on this one is to go through your recipe books and see if you can find a really good recipe that includes a Mornay and make it. Next time we're going to be working with a hollandaise sauce, another mother sauce. I'm Chef Carrie Leonard. Thanks for joining us on Culinary Classroom.